Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tess, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm doing another doll custom today, but I'm very excited for today's video because I have had this idea in my head for so long. Every doll custom I do is me recreating a movie character that already exists, so it kind of is like taking out that creative side of it where I get to make whatever I want. So today I'm going to be making an OG character design, but of course I need to make it a tiny bit more complicated for myself, so I am letting a random generator wheel pick my doll for me. It's not going to be entirely random because I am picking what is going to be on the wheel, but for the most part I am not going to be in control of the colors, the base of the doll, the theme of the doll, or the hair length or the face. So I have a bunch of traits written down that I'm just going to throw into a random generator wheel, and then we are going to get to see what kind of doll we're making today. So let's get to it. Okay, so first I'm going to be picking the doll base that I'm going to be using. I am biased to Monster High. Those are the dolls I like to use, and I have not put draculaura on this because every doll custom I've done up until this point has been a draculaura base, and I'd love to expand outside of that. Draculaura makes a great base for doll customs because she is one of the most neutral colored dolls with the least amount of body modifications. Like, her ears are just a little pointy, but she doesn't have any texture sculpted into her skin or anything. I would love to push myself outside of that comfort zone and use a different doll base. So let's find out what doll base we are going to be using. I don't know why my heart is racing. The doll base is going to be a ghoulia yelps. This one I think is one of the better options we could have gotten because her color is very neutral. So when it comes to picking colors, it's not like we have a Frankie Stein and we have to somehow make green work. She's like a light gray. So I feel like that's a pretty good base. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Okay, next is picking the color scheme. I'm pretty much doing every color of the rainbow and then black and white. I'm thinking 3 colors for the doll, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous. So the first color. Okay, so the first color is yellow. I have no opinion yet because it's the first color, so who knows? I feel like, what's a color that would be really bad with yellow? Green maybe, but we'll see what comes next. I will do a second color and maybe a third. Yellow and orange. I feel like I need a third color. I can't. Okay, so yellow and orange, not my favorite colors, but do I do a third? Does it need a third color? I feel like it does. Yellow and orange aren't my favorite colors, so I feel like I need something to help them, you know? I feel like, what's a color that would be really bad with yellow? Green maybe? The color scheme we got is literally the color of the wheel that I'm spinning right now, and I think that looks heinous. We stayed to one side of the wheel. Is the wheel messed up? I feel like I'm just gonna spin it just to see. What happened to like blue and purple and red? Oh, now we get black and white? Okay, well, orange, yellow, and green. Okay, I would have loved black and white. Okay, so next is doll theme, and we have to keep in mind that our colors are orange, yellow, and green. Anyways, so we have bat, devil, clown, cryptid, witch, and monster. So let's see what we are going to get. I'm a little nervous with this color scheme. All I can see is looking at this wheel and seeing that that's my color scheme. Okay, clown. You know, out of all of these colors, I think I can make work with the clown. We'll see. Clown's a safe bet. Clown's a good choice. Okay, next is accessories, and I'm not talking like purse and sunglasses. I mean chainsaw, flail, mace, battle axe, and bat with nails. So let's see what our ghoulia yelps green, orange, and yellow clown is going to be holding. Yeah, a battle axe. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm actually thrilled with her holding a battle axe. Next is very simple, hair length, long hair, short hair. Geez, these are like really landing on the line. Okay, short hair, no opinions on that. So next is a realistic face paint or a more cute kawaii face paint. Let's see. Okay, so kawaii face paint. I've never done a face like that, so I'm actually pretty excited about getting this because I think that will be fun to do. And so those are all the categories that I had for my doll design. So just to recap before I get into sketching, it's a ghoulia yelps doll that is going to be orange, yellow, and green. That's the only thing I really have an issue with, is the color scheme. Everything else I'm pretty pleased with, because she's also going to be a clown with a battle axe, which I'm very excited about. And she's going to have short hair with a kawaii face. You know, other than the color scheme, I'm actually pretty excited to work on this doll. I might have to pick one of the colors to be very dominant, and then the other ones are just accents, because I just am not loving how those all sound together. But who knows, maybe I'll surprise myself. I'm going to get to sketching, and I'll be right back with the doll design to show you guys before starting on the real thing. So here is the design that I came up with. I kept the green tones to her skin and features because apparently ghoulia is green and not gray. Anyways, it ends up working out because that is one of the colors that the wheel chose for me. But then I made the outfit the oranges and yellows. I'm doing this voiceover after I've already made the doll, so I do know I stray from the design a little bit, but overall stick to the idea of it pretty well. So I have my ghoulia doll. She's not my favorite sculptor design. She's a bit more angular than I'd like to work with, but I do love her hair color. It's so stunning, so I do feel a bit bad chopping it all off, but unfortunately blue is not one of our colors. Once I get all of the hair off to as close to the scalp as possible, I use super hot water. I just get mine from my coffee machine and use that to soften the plastic of her head to make it easier to pop off the neck peg. Once I have her head off, I take a flathead screwdriver to go inside the neck hole and scrape out the hair plugs from the inside. This part can be pretty tedious, but also weirdly satisfying at the same time. I then take some thin tweezers to pluck out the loose hairs that are now inside the head, and this is also very satisfying. Sometimes the hairs don't want to come out using the screwdriver, so I'll take some tweezers to pluck those hairs out manually. But once the head is entirely free of hair, I'll take some 100% acetone and some cotton rounds and Q-tips to clean off the factory paint. I keep saying everything is very satisfying, but I don't think anything is more satisfying than removing the face in one go. Bye, ghoulia! I then just clean off the rest of the face and use a Q-tip to get into the crevices of her lips and eyes and remove the scalp color, and once that is all off, I rinse her with soap and water and she's officially a blank canvas ready for us to work on. Since I got short hair from the generator, instead of plugging a whole head of hair and cutting it short, I figured I'd just sculpt some hair on. I've never done this before, but I have a vision of a cute little pixie cut with curls around the ears and on the forehead that I think sculpting would make way easier. I'll have the Apoxy Sculpt I used linked down below, but I'm just pressing it smooth and covering the entire head to cover all the holes, then using little pieces to sculpt the curls. I'm keeping the top flat since I know I'm putting a hat there, but once the whole head is sculpted, I'm putting her off to the side to dry for 24 hours before I paint and switching to work on her battle axe. As you saw in the sketch, I want this battle axe to be the size of her, so I found these wooden rods at my craft store and thought they'd make the perfect handle. I used the leftover Apoxy Sculpt to create the star that I had in my sketch on the top of the axe, and just like the hair, I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours before painting. I then use a thick cardboard, cardstock type material to sketch out the blades of the axe. A battle axe is a double-sided axe, so I'm just going to cut two halves and paint them with a base coat of white. While that's drying, I switched over to making her cap. I looked online for how people make these cone hats, and I found a stencil, but I couldn't quite make it work. I made a couple versions and ended up just going with the one that looked the best. Then I just used some yellow fabric that I'm going to use for the rest of her outfit so it matches to cover the hat. I test out some pom-pom colors and ultimately settle on yellow, which is different from my sketch, but sometimes things look better on paper than they do in real life. I then took some orange ribbon to add some stripes and cover the seams, and then attach the pom-pom. The white paint of the axe is dry, so I sketch on the design and use some acrylic paint to paint it. I forgot to record it, but I sprayed the dried epoxy as well as her face with some Mr. Super Clear spray and let that dry before painting her hair with acrylic paint. I also don't show it later, but when she's done, I'll seal her again with Mr. Super Clear to lock everything in place. I'm so happy with how her hair turned out. It makes me want to sculpt hair instead of plugging it more often. I use watercolor pencils to sketch out her eyes and features. I try and use a light hand so I can use a kneaded eraser for any mistakes I might make. In her sketch, I had stars as her irises to try and make it more kawaii, like the wheel chose instead of realistic. I'm not too sure if I fulfilled that aspect of the design well enough, but you guys can let me know down below. Was there something I could have done to her face to make it look more kawaii? But once she's all sketched out, I used some soft pastels and a dry paintbrush to brush some orange onto her nose to try and give it that clown nose effect, and I also used some green soft pastel to blush her cheeks. For her eyes and the rest of her features, I switch over to acrylic paint, which I water down to get it as smooth as possible. I love how the star iris turned out, and I don't show it here, but I also end up adding some glitter to the iris, which just makes it so much cuter. I accidentally wasn't recording when doing her lips and eyelashes, whoops, but after painting the one eye, I needed a break from being hunched over with the world's smallest paintbrushes, so I decided to glue her hat to her head, and now is when I really start to see the vision come together. I threw on some hoop earrings just to fill in the holes in her ears, then finished up the axe. I used gold spray paint to color the star and glue that to the wood stick and glued on the blades. I also added a gloss varnish to try and make it look like a shiny metal blade, and once that was done, it was time for the outfit. As I say in all my doll custom shorts and videos, I am not a sewer. I wish I was, but I am not. So here you'll see I made my own stencil, which I thought I was crushing. I was gluing all the hems and sewing away, making this two-toned clown outfit. Only for when I put it on the doll, it doesn't fit. I even made the stencil bigger so it would be a big loose clown outfit, and it was still small. So I trashed that, made a new stencil, and got this jumbo version. It may look silly, but I did want this to be oversized, and I think it comes together in the end, so you just have to trust the process. I stray from the design a bit here to make it look more clown-like with the pom-poms, and in my clown outfit research, I saw a lot of these had collars, so I made one, and with all that said and done, it is time for the reveal. is done. I absolutely love her, and I can't believe these were all just random things chosen by a wheel thrown together. I suppose this is my formal apology to the colors orange, yellow, and green because you guys look great together. This doll needs a name, so drop your ideas down below and let's name her. If you guys like this video and want to see me do it again, let me know down below. I had such a fun time doing this, but thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!